Today we're looking at the world's cheapest flamethrower that even you can enjoy. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase and this is All Things Random, mostly watch reviews with things like this sprinkled in between. It's my channel. I'm gonna do what I love, and I love bringing you guys these off the wall, off the cuff reviews like a flamethrower from Super Villain Supplies. Again, if you're gonna get something from a company called Super Villain Supplies, well, it's gonna be just that. I'm not gonna do an unboxing because I have right here the FTG-NAR23 right in front of me. And this thing is just badass. And if you look at something like a Boring Company's Not a Flamethrower, well, that thing is a glorified lighter compared to this. Now we're gonna do some range tests, but first let's just go over the overall design and why I like this a lot better than a Boring Company's Not a Flamethrower, or even the Prop Shop's, you know, kind of replica of Not a Flamethrower. And this is, well, way better, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Make sure you stay to the very end because we're gonna do range tests with this. This thing goes over 3 times farther than the Boring Company's Not a Flamethrower, 3 times further. And we're gonna get into some specs. We're gonna get into how you can customize this on your own, the different colors that come with this. And if you guys want to pick this up at even more of a discount, this is the cheapest flamethrower, not a flamethrower, that I found on the market. And there's a discount code ATR10 down in the description below that's gonna get you a discount, so it's even cheaper. Now let's hop into the hands-on review and why I love this thing. I've had so much fun with it so far, so let's just go ahead and get in it. Now this thing is the same size of a standard rifle. So if you've gone out to the range and you have handled something like an AR-15 or something like that, this is going to be roughly the same size as one of those. It is not too heavy, it's not too light. It does have a plastic housing. It does have metal accessories like, of course, the muzzle right here. The flame tip is gonna be steel, it's gotta be. And everything else feels pretty solid and sturdy. Now I've looked at some of the other ones out there, like the Prop Shops one, and they modify things like Nerf guns and things like that to make theirs. This is not that. The parts are very well done. It has a Picatinny rail at the top and the side, and there's 2 separate ways you can mount the bottle. The bottle used on this is gonna be the 14.1 ounce propane bottle, and it's not gonna last you that long, but they're also not very expensive. The propane bottles are about $6.88 at Walmart, which is where I was able to find them. Now it does have a mount for the bottle, and the mount can go in one of 2 places. Normally it goes on the side here, so it is a side mounted bottle, and we'll toss that on in just a minute, or it can be a top mounted bottle like you see in the other not flamethrowers out there. Now this is technically not a flamethrower. It is more of a gas burst thrower than a flamethrower. Now, from the top down, you can see this has the same overall design as a gun, but far more futuristic. In fact, the reason I picked up the white, and they have multiple colors, the reason I picked up the white is because I love Star Wars and I love stormtroopers, and I was like, man, maybe I'll do a video where I have a stormtrooper costume on in the future and I'm lighting things on fire. So I wanted to get the white because it was just, again, reminiscent of that futuristic design of movies like Star Wars or even things like Starship Troopers.
You want to live forever?
With that being said, It does have that overall design of a futuristic gun and the same size as a gun. You can see on the opposite side, it has multiple screws. This is how you're going to adjust the hose if you want to top mount the bottle. You can see at the very end of the butt of the gun that it has a hole. That is for the hose to run through if you want it to be top mounted. You're going to have to run the hose through that, so then the bottle can kind of lay over the stock of the gun, of the butt of the not a flamethrower, and then you're able to top mount it. Now, one of the reasons I like this one over anything else is not just the overall design, because I don't mind the design of the Boring Company's Not a Flamethrower, but really it's the performance of this one over everything else. Not only does it have its own serial number, not only is it the cheapest one on the market that I've been able to find so far, but it fires a flame burst over 3 times further than the Boring Company's Not a Flamethrower. Then you look at the kind of replicas or the redos or the homages in the watch community, the homages of the Not a Flamethrower, and it has the same distance as the Boring Company's, which is like 5 feet. Well, 5 feet is just a glorified lighter. So let's just look at the distances of this compared to the others. Now, when it comes to operation of this Not a Flamethrower, again, you're going to hook the bracket on the outside, on the right side of the stock. Now, one of the things I don't like about this, I'm going to be honest about it, is the fact that the carrier that holds the bottle is plastic. Not my favorite. I wish they would upgrade to something a little more heavy duty, like aluminum or steel. All that being said, it's still the cheapest one on the market, so I really can't blame them for that. Now, you would, again, put that 14.1 ounce propane bottle. Then you would attach the first stage, we're going to call it a regulator because I'm also a scuba diver, the first stage regulator that has a valve attached to that. Now, this is going to be your main operating valve. So it says on, off. On is counterclockwise, off is clockwise. So once it's screwed on all the way and it's seated within that housing of the holder, then you're going to turn it all the way on. Now, at the top of the gun, if you look at guns, this is where the bolt would be on a standard rifle. So that has an on and off valve just like the first stage. So we're going to call this the second stage valve. Now, this one does not need to be opened all the way. It only needs to be open a little bit, maybe like a quarter turn, if even that. Now, you'll start hearing the hissing come out the end of the muzzle, and then you have the striker here, or the sparker, at the front of the stock. So you're going to strike it just like you would a gas grill, and then you're going to get a flame ignition at the very end. Now, you do not need the second stage valve turn on all the way, because all that's going to do is shoot out the gas straight out the end, and you're going to have no control over it. Now, they use like a burst valve right here at the trigger. Now, the trigger, I call it a burst valve because it kind of controls the amount of gas that comes out. If you just hold it open, you know, it's gonna be just like turning this on full blast. So you're really not gonna have any control over it. But if you just barely have this on, this is more like a third stage or 2.5 stage when it comes to exiting out. So every time you hit this, right, it's gonna burst out the flame, and if you just let it kind of build up and allow some pressure, well, within the system, then when you pull the trigger, it's gonna allow a greater burst. So let's discuss some of the initial testing I did on this Not a Flamethrower that I have here at the desk. So what I did was I used poster board and I put that on the side of the house, and then I drew a meter diagram so we could do some initial testing. Now, the issue that I had here is there was a little wind, maybe 5-10 mile an hour, swishing back and forth, so it was really difficult to get a good read on the distance of the flamethrower, because at some point the wind was pushing against us, at some point the wind was helping us. But I can tell you right here, this is a good representation of where the Boring Company would be and where this one sets. You can see here that the initial burst, just messing around, goes well past 3 meters, where the Boring Company just goes just over 1 meter. Now, one of the things that I have to tell you guys when using this flamethrower is the fact that a brand new propane tank is going to matter when using this flamethrower. Now, the newer the tank, the more compression is in the tank, which means that it gives you a better initial burst when using it. The less and less gas that's in the tank, the less and less actual flame you're going to get. This is one of the things I would say is a con when it comes to this, or any flamethrower that's set up in this way, is the fact that the pressure of the canister is what dictates the distance of the burst flame. Not really a bad thing, but I've had fun with it so far, and what I'd really like to do is get your guys' opinion on what I need to try to start on fire. What I would like to do is come up with some things, either starting a grill or something else. Leave a comment down below of what you guys would like to see me test this flamethrower on. Then I will do a follow-up video in 4 or 5 weeks. Now, what do you guys think about this video? I love bringing you guys this random stuff sprinkled in between all of my watch reviews. Now, I have a lot of affordable watches on the desk. In fact, I have 3 watches right here that I'm looking at on the desk that I have to do a review on tomorrow. Then I'll post those within the next 6 days, one every 2 days. So stay tuned, guys. I have a lot here to review, a lot of stuff coming up. Now, the last video was kind of a hit with Anthony Ferrer and the Timepiece Gentleman. I was surprised how well that video did. So because of that, look forward to more updates when it comes to things that are happening in the watch community, because clearly that's what you guys want to see. Not just the watch reviews, not just the flamethrower reviews and the random stuff in between, but what's going on the day to day. So stay tuned for more of those videos in between. Now, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment of the content you guys would like to see. This is all things random, mostly watch reviews with some of this random stuff sprinkled in between. So look forward to a lot of videos in the future. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because a lot of people are saying they're not getting notified when I drop these videos. And again, every 2 to 3 days a new video drops of either a watch review, a product review, or just my overall opinion on some of the things going on. That being said, I will see you in the next one.